Today we're diving into something many of you have been asking about: how to tell when a woman finds you attractive. Understanding these subtle signs can save you from a lot of confusion and help you confidently navigate social situations. Before we jump in, remember that everyone communicates attraction differently, and these signs aren't universal. Think of this as a helpful guide rather than definitive proof. The last thing we want is for you to misinterpret friendly behavior as romantic interest, or miss genuine signals because you weren't sure what to look for. I've compiled these signs based on psychological research, relationship experts' advice, and real-world experiences. So whether you're trying to figure out if your crush likes you back or you just want to be more socially aware, this video will give you the insights you need. Let's get started with the 10 clear signs a woman thinks you're attractive. Sign 1. Prolonged eye contact. The eyes don't lie. When a woman maintains eye contact with you for longer than usual, it's often a sign of interest. Now, I'm not talking about an uncomfortable staring contest, but rather those moments when your eyes meet, and instead of quickly looking away, she holds that gaze just a little longer. This extended eye contact creates a moment of connection between you two. It's her way of showing she's engaged and interested in what you're saying, and potentially in you as a person. You might also notice a pattern psychologists call the triangle gaze, where her eyes move from your eyes to your mouth and back again. This subtle eye movement often indicates attraction, as she's subconsciously focusing on features associated with intimacy. But there's more to it than just duration. The quality of eye contact matters too. Does she maintain a soft, engaged expression? Does she smile with her eyes? These nuances can help you distinguish between someone who's just being polite and someone who's genuinely interested. In professional settings, this can be trickier to interpret since maintaining eye contact is considered good communication practice. But if you notice she makes more eye contact with you than with others, or if there's that extra beat of connection that feels different, it might be a sign of attraction. Remember that cultural differences can affect eye contact norms, so always consider the individual's background and typical behavior before jumping to conclusions. Sign 2. She finds reasons to touch you. Physical touch is one of the clearest indicators of attraction. When a woman is interested in you, she'll create opportunities for casual, seemingly innocent physical contact. Maybe she touches your arm while laughing at your joke, fixes your collar, brushes something off your shoulder, or lets her hand linger when passing you something. These touches might seem accidental or friendly on the surface, but when they happen repeatedly, they're usually intentional. This behavior is her way of testing your comfort with physical closeness and establishing a connection that goes beyond just conversation. It's also worth noting that people are generally protective of their personal space. We don't typically touch people we're not comfortable with. Pay attention to the frequency and nature of these touches. A one-time brush of the hands when reaching for the same object is probably coincidental. But if she's regularly finding reasons to make physical contact, that's different. The context of these touches matters too. Is she touching you in ways that she doesn't touch others around you? Does she seem to create situations where touch becomes natural or necessary? For example, she might sit next to you in a crowded space where your shoulders or knees occasionally touch, rather than choosing a seat with more space elsewhere. Some women are naturally more tactile with everyone, so compare how she interacts with you versus others. If there's a clear difference, that's a stronger indicator of specific interest in you. Sign 3. She mirrors your behavior. Mirroring is a fascinating psychological phenomenon that happens largely on a subconscious level. When someone mirrors you, they're subtly matching your body language, speech patterns, or even energy level. If you notice a woman adopting similar postures to yours, using phrases you've used, or matching your speaking pace, this could be a sign she's into you. For example, if you cross your arms and then she crosses hers shortly after, or if you take a sip of your drink and she follows suit, these are potential indicators of attraction. Mirroring happens naturally when people feel connected to each other, and it's a powerful sign that she's in sync with you on a deeper level than just casual interaction. This mirroring can extend beyond just physical movements. She might adopt slang terms you use, pick up on your communication style, or even develop interest in things you're passionate about. These are all ways of creating similarity and connection, which are foundational to attraction. The key is noticing patterns over time. Anyone might coincidentally mirror another person occasionally, but consistent mirroring suggests a deeper psychological connection. Some studies suggest that mirroring is so powerful that you can actually increase someone's comfort with you by subtly mirroring them first. However, this should be done naturally and respectfully. Obvious or exaggerated mirroring will come across as strange or mocking. Sign 4. She makes herself more noticeable. When a woman is attracted to you, she'll often make subtle adjustments to draw your attention to her. This could be flipping or playing with her hair, adjusting her posture to appear more confident, or positioning herself in your line of sight. These behaviors serve two purposes. They're self-soothing gestures that help manage the nervousness that comes with attraction, and they're also meant to enhance her appearance or presence around you. You might notice her smoothing her clothes, reapplying lipstick when you're around, or making sure she looks her best before interacting with you. These are all potential signs that your opinion matters to her because she's attracted to you. Beyond physical adjustments, she might also make herself more noticeable through her actions. Perhaps she speaks up more when you're in a group setting, or she finds ways to demonstrate her skills or knowledge in areas she thinks you'll appreciate. Social media can be another avenue where this sign appears. If she suddenly becomes more active on your posts with likes, comments, or reactions, she might be trying to stay on your radar and create opportunities for interaction. Pay attention to whether her behavior changes when you enter a room. Does she perk up, fix her hair, adjust her posture, turn toward you? These immediate reactions can be very telling because they're often unconscious responses rather than calculated moves. Sign 5. She laughs at your jokes, even the bad ones. We all want someone who appreciates our sense of humor, right? When a woman is attracted to you, you might suddenly discover you're much funnier than you thought. If she laughs enthusiastically at your jokes, even the ones that aren't exactly comedy gold, it could be a sign of attraction. Studies have shown that laughter is often used as a way to show interest and create bonds between people. It's not just about the laughing itself, but also how she laughs. Does she maintain eye contact while laughing? Does she touch your arm or shoulder? These additional cues alongside genuine laughter are strong indicators of attraction. There's actually science behind this. Research shows that shared laughter releases endorphins that create positive associations and feelings of bonding. When someone is attracted to you, they're subconsciously looking for ways to create these positive associations. Of course, some people just laugh easily or are trying to be polite. The key is to notice if she laughs more at your jokes than at others' jokes, or if her laughter seems more genuine and engaged when it's directed at you. Also, pay attention to whether she actively tries to make you laugh as well. If she's putting effort into amusing you and seems particularly delighted when she succeeds, that's another level of connection she's trying to establish. Remember that humor compatibility is actually one of the strongest predictors of relationship satisfaction. So this mutual appreciation of each other's humor isn't just a sign of attraction, it's also a good foundation for a potential relationship. Sign 6. She asks personal questions. When someone is attracted to you, they want to know the real you, not just surface-level details. A woman who's interested will ask questions that go beyond typical small talk. She might ask about your passions, your goals, your family, or your past experiences. These aren't just conversation fillers. They're her attempts to understand who you really are and to find points of connection between you. Even more telling is if she remembers these details later and brings them up in future conversations. If she recalls that you mentioned your dog's name once 3 weeks ago, or remembers that you had an important work presentation coming up, it shows she's paying close attention to what you share, a clear sign of interest. The depth of her questions is significant too. Is she asking questions that require vulnerability or sharing of values? Questions about your dreams, fears, childhood memories or future plans indicate she's trying to establish emotional intimacy, not just passing time with conversation. Pay attention to how she responds to your answers as well. Does she ask thoughtful follow-up questions? Does she relate your experiences to her own, creating connections between your lives? These engagement patterns show she's not just collecting information, she's actively trying to build rapport and understanding. Another telling sign is if she seems genuinely happy to discover similarities between you. When we're attracted to someone, we tend to get disproportionately excited about shared interests or experiences because they validate our feeling that we could be compatible. Keep in mind that some people are naturally curious and ask personal questions of everyone. The key is whether there's a special quality or intensity to her curiosity about you specifically. Sign 7. Her friends know about you. Never underestimate the significance of being mentioned to her friends. If her friends seem to know details about you when you meet them, or if they exchange knowing glances when you're around, it's often because she's been talking about you. Women typically share their feelings about potential romantic interests with their trusted friends. So if her friends are acting like they already know you, or they suddenly find reasons to leave you two alone together, take it as a positive sign. Sometimes her friends might even directly tease her about you, or make comments about you two being a good match. These aren't just random occurrences. They're insights into conversations that have happened when you weren't around. The way her friends treat you is often a reflection of how she's described you to them. If they're welcoming and seem to approve of you, it likely means she's spoken positively about you. If they're evaluating you closely, she may have expressed serious interest, and they're checking to see if you're as great as she says. Another telling sign is if she suddenly wants to introduce you to her friends. When someone is attracted to you, they often want their friends' opinions and approval. Plus, introducing you to important people in her life is a way of integrating you into it more deeply. Social media can provide clues here too. If her friends start following you or engaging with your content, it might be because they've heard about you from her and are curious about the person she's interested in. Remember that friend dynamics vary widely. In some friendship groups, this kind of behavior will be obvious and playful. In others, it might be more subtle. The key is noticing any change in how her social circle relates to you compared to how they treat others. Sign 8. She makes herself available to you. Time is valuable, and how someone chooses to spend their time tells you a lot about their priorities. When a woman consistently makes herself available to you, it's a meaningful indicator of interest. If she's quick to respond to your messages, rearranges her schedule to see you, or suggests alternative times when she can't make something work, she's demonstrating that spending time with you is important to her. This availability extends beyond just physical meetups. Being consistently responsive in conversations, whether in person or through messages, shows an investment in maintaining connection with you, a subtle but significant sign of attraction. Pay attention to how she prioritizes your interactions. Does she choose spending time with you over other opportunities? Does she extend your time together when possible? For example, if a coffee meetup was planned for an hour, but she suggests grabbing lunch afterward to continue the conversation, that's a positive sign. The consistency of her availability matters too. Everyone has busy periods or emergencies that come up, but if she's generally reliable and makes an effort to see you regularly, it shows you're a priority. Another aspect to consider is whether she initiates plans. If she's reaching out to suggest meetups or activities rather than always waiting for you to make the first move, that's a strong indication of interest. Someone who is merely being friendly might accept invitations, but they typically won't go out of their way to create opportunities to spend time with you. Look at the context of your relationship too. If you're colleagues or classmates who would see each other anyway, but she finds reasons to extend those interactions or create new ones outside of the required setting, she's likely interested in more than just a professional or casual relationship. Remember that people express availability differently based on their schedules, responsibilities, and communication styles. The key is noticing whether she seems to make special accommodations for you that indicate you're a priority in her life. Sign 9. She shows genuine curiosity about your interests. When someone is attracted to you, they want to understand the things that make you who you are, including your interests and hobbies, even if they're not necessarily things she's into herself. If she asks detailed questions about your interests, tries to engage with activities you enjoy, or remembers specific details about your passions, these are good indicators of attraction. It's her way of finding common ground and showing support for what matters to you. For example, if you're into a particular sport and she starts asking about rules or recent games despite never showing interest before, or if she's willing to try activities you enjoy just to share the experience with you, these efforts reflect a desire to connect on a deeper level. The depth of her curiosity is significant. Is she asking surface-level questions, or is she diving into the nuances of why you enjoy certain activities? Does she follow up later, perhaps sharing an article related to your hobby, or mentioning something that reminded her of your interest? This kind of sustained engagement shows she's not just making conversation, she's building connection. Notice whether she tries to participate in your interests directly. Maybe she asks you to teach her about your hobby, attends events related to your interests, or even develops her own appreciation for things you're passionate about. This willingness to step into your world is a powerful sign of attraction. There's a difference between polite interest and genuine curiosity. Someone who is attracted to you will show enthusiasm about your interests, remember details from previous conversations, and engage with the topic in a way that goes beyond social niceties. Some women might even research your interests independently so they can have more meaningful conversations with you about them. If she suddenly seems knowledgeable about something you mentioned loving, but that most people don't know much about, she may have done her homework. This sign is particularly meaningful because it demonstrates a desire to understand and connect with your authentic self, not just the surface-level persona most people see. Sign 10. Her body language is open and focused on you. Body language often reveals what words don't say. When a woman is attracted to you, her body language will typically be open, engaged, and directed toward you. Some key signs to look for include facing you directly rather than angling away, uncrossed arms, leaning in when you speak, nodding and actively listening, and orienting her feet toward you, a surprisingly reliable subconscious indicator of interest. You might also notice that in group settings, her attention remains primarily on you. Even when others are speaking, she might look to see your reaction or try to catch your eye. This selective attention is a powerful sign, that you stand out to her among others. Pay attention to her proximity as well. People naturally gravitate physically toward those they're attracted to. Does she choose to sit or stand closer to you than necessary? Does she find reasons to be in your personal space? These can be subtle indicators of interest. Another telling sign is preening behaviors. Small adjustments to her appearance when she notices you. She might fix her hair, adjust her clothing, or straighten her posture. These are often unconscious behaviors triggered by wanting to look her best for someone she's attracted to. Also notice her hands. Exposed palms, playing with jewelry, or gentle self-touching behaviors like stroking her neck or wrist can indicate attraction and comfort. These gestures often relate to vulnerability and self-soothing when experiencing the exciting but nervous feelings of attraction. The synchronization of her movements with yours is significant too. Research shows that people in rapport with each other often unconsciously match their rhythms, taking sips of drinks at the same time, shifting positions simultaneously, or developing similar speech patterns. Her overall energy level around you matters as well. Many women become more animated, laugh more freely, or speak more expressively when interacting with someone they're attracted to. This increased energy comes from the excitement and stimulation of being around someone they like. Remember that confidence levels, cultural backgrounds, and individual personalities all affect how body language is expressed. Look for changes from her baseline behavior and clusters of signals rather than focusing on any single body language cue. Conclusion. So there you have it. 10 clear signs a woman might be attracted to you. Remember, these signals work best when you observe multiple signs together, creating a pattern of behavior rather than isolated incidents. The most reliable indicator comes from noticing clusters of these signs happening consistently over time. One instance of prolonged eye contact might not mean much, but when combined with frequent touching, mirroring, and making herself available to you repeatedly, that's when you can be more confident in your interpretation. It's also important to consider context. Some environments, like professional settings, have different rules of engagement. What might be a clear sign of attraction in a social setting could simply be professionalism or networking in a work context. Always calibrate your interpretations to the specific situation. Remember, too, that attraction exists on a spectrum. Someone might find you physically attractive but not be interested in pursuing anything. Or they might enjoy your personality but need more time to develop deeper feelings. These signs indicate interest, but the exact nature of that interest can vary. When you notice these signs, it's usually a good indicator that you have the green light to express your own interest if you feel the same way. This might mean asking her out directly, suggesting an activity together, or simply being more intentionally flirtatious to see how she responds. Also, keep in mind that confidence is attractive, but so is respect. If you're noticing these signs from someone you're interested in, approach the situation with respect for both yourself and them. Clear communication eventually becomes the most important factor in any potential relationship. Understanding these signals of attraction isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about increasing your social awareness so you can better navigate connections and reduce uncertainty. The end goal should always be authentic communication and mutual respect. I hope this guide has been helpful in recognizing when someone might be interested in you. Remember that developing your emotional intelligence and ability to read social cues is a lifelong process that will benefit you in all areas of life, not just romantic situations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.